Hey, wait. I kinda did not put a proper shit out here. Okay, so let's hope the game is okay with me streaming in 1080p. Otherwise, we will have to quickly pop out and reduce the quality again. Is the volume okay, or is it too loud? It's hard to say. The music might be a little bit overpowering. Should be better now, I guess. I'll drop it a little bit more. I'm quite flexible here. Although the music is mostly in the menus. Okay. So then let's start the single player campaign. I really like the music. It's good. I shouldn't have said anything, because now the music is gone. No. So, this is the character creation, and we start with where the hell we come from. We can be Vlendians. Vlendians are the descendants of adventurers from the west who lived under the Empire for centuries before forming an independent kingdom. With the decline of imperial authority, they have evolved into a well-organized feudal society led by a caste of warlike nobles who prefer to fight with spears and lances on horseback. Hey, Rez. And this will grant us 20% more XP for troops from battles. And is clearly the Normans, Bretons. Yeah, exactly. Then we have the Sturgians. Sturgians are the descendants of the foreign tribes of northern Calradia. As the Empire expanded into their cold forests, they found that a ready market for the luxurious furs of woodland animals whom they traditionally hunted and trapped. Sturgian chieftains became princes, vying for preeminence with the help of Nord mercenaries who migrated into their realm. They are good hunters and wanderers, traveling far in search of opportunities both for trade and for plunder, which is clearly Vikings. Less speed penalty from snow, which is... Then we have the Empire. The Calradian Empire is in decline. Even before the murder of the Emperor Arenicus, I think, the once united realm was torn by political rivalries. Today, those factions are in open war. Yet, Calradians endure. They are technologically more advanced than their neighbors, and their mastery of engineering is not just evident in their aqueducts, beautiful architecture, and massive city walls. It also makes them experts in siege warfare, which is clearly the Roman Empire and at its decline. So, This would give us 20% construction speed bonus on town projects, wall repairs, and siege engines. Then we have the Aserai. The Aserai are the inhabitants of the Nahasa Desert, a mixture of nomadic Bedouin and settled oasis farmers. They are famous for their horsemanship and their knowledge of the learning of many lands, especially medicine gained from lying on some of the continent's most lucrative trade routes. What? Each clan is fiercely proud of its lineage and often jealous of the others, but when united by a charismatic leader, they become a major force in the south. So this is the Arabic piece of the continent, which will make current 30% cheaper to build and 10% less trade penalty. Yeah, kinda. So then we have the Mongols, the Kuzaites. The Kuzaite confederation of steppe tribes used to live a nomadic life, but have recently settled in the eastern frontiers of the empire and are slowly transitioning into an agrarian society with permanent town centers. Despite this, they still retain many aspects of their nomadic life, including their affinity with horses. They are masters of mounted archery, shooting and then galloping out of reach. 10% extra speed bonus for horsemen on the campaign map. So this is clearly the Mongols, you know, the eastern horse tribes. And then we have the Batanians. Batanians, yeah. The Batanians still remember their olden days when the woods stretched across northern Karelia, and the empire and its cities had yet to violate their sanctity. The fierce warriors remain loyal to their traditional ways. They paint their faces when going to battle, and even the noblemen prefer to fight on foot while using great axes and two-handed swords with deadly efficiency. Forests give 20% less penalty to parties. So this is the Celtic tribes? Maybe even the Gaelic tribes? Yeah, exactly. So basically what nowadays is France and Germany and the Low Countries. And I must say, yeah, either the last or the first, the Vlenians or the Batanians. And I can make you decide. A culture. Batanians. I almost spelled goals right. So, well, this window is just for the poll window. No additional. Yeah. Okay. Start poll. There is a poll up in chat for 2 minutes. And I think this is how I will manage to do the entire character creation. Show you of what's available, then decide for me 2 or 3 options which I mostly prefer, and then you will have the chance to select. Okay, this looks kinda decisive. I know there's 2, maybe 3 people who are actively listening. I know Thess can't listen. Probably didn't Hey, Hissam. So again, Ladians are the Normans, and the Battanians are the Celts. So not sure if you can hear or not. So obviously I will obtain from the vote, but this is kind of obviously, unless there's sudden emergence of 2 other people voting, which could turn it into a draw. No, okay. Battanians it is. Okay. This is now... Okay, this is kind of randomized. So, what I think is kind of funny, you can make the guy immensely tall and give him a funny voice.
Kill them all! Stand your ground! Infantry!
Which I find quite funny.
You are dead!
We can go the other way round.
Fire!
And make a tiny guy with an insanely deep voice.
Shield wall now! Warriors! Let us up! Infantry!
We can do a...
Shield glory! Ground!
You can make a tiny dude with a tiny voice. And no, I don't think they get a smaller hitbox. That would be... well, who knows? I mean, it's a lot of differences. And I'm pale as all hell. So the face... I can... kinda live with. Eyes, nose, mouth, hair. Witcher style? I feel a shaggy mane is quite fitting. I like the face, that's okay. Let's give him a throw. Ooh, I like this. If you run an afro and back in the day, that would be... You stick out everywhere like a sore thumb. I think that looks quite nice. Okay. Now, tribal markings of some kind. Did this do anything? Hmm. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, just keep a clean face. Okay, so sadly there's no music, so it's kind of quiet. So now choose the parents. Member of the chieftain's Hearthguard. Your family were the trusted kinfolk of a Battanian chieftain, and sat at its table in his great hall. Your father assisted his chief in running the affairs of the clan and trained with the traditional weapons of the Battanian elite, the two-handed sword, or falx, and the bow. We'll give two-handed and bow. Although I must say I am incredibly... I have played a little bit of this before already to testing if everything runs smoothly. And holy shit, I'm really bad at blocking, so I will need a sword and board character, so I will need one-handed really. Then healers. Your parents were healers who gathered herbs and treated the sick. As a living reservoir of Battanian tradition, they were also asked to adjudicate many disputes between the clans. This will give one focus point in medicine and one in charm. So medicine will reduce the dead people in battle, and charm is just, yeah, well, charm like any RPG. Tribespeople. Your family were middle-ranking members of a Battanian clan who tilled their own land. Your father fought with the cairn, the main body of his people's warriors, joining in the screaming charges of which the Battanians were famous. We'll give athletics and throwing attribute. I mean, throwing weapons are kinda nice, and athletics... Then the Smiths. Your family were smith, a revered profession among the Battanians. They crafted everything from fine filigree jewelry in geometric designs to the well-balanced long swords favored by the Battanian aristocracy. We'll give smithing and two-handed. And yes, there's a crafting system in this now. And yeah, obviously two-handed. Then foresters. Your family had little land of their own, so they earned a living from the woods, hunting and trapping. They taught you from an early age that the skills like finding game trails and killing an animal with one shot could make the difference between eating and starvation. It's scouting and tactics. I'm not sure where tactics come into play. And scouting is the movement on the campaign map. All my parents could have been bards. Your father was a bard, drifting from chieftain's hall to chieftain's hall, making his living singing the praises of one Battanian aristocrat and mocking his enemies, then going to his enemy's hall and doing the reverse. You learned from him that a clever tongue could spare you from life toiling in the fields, if you kept your wits about you. This will give roguery and charm. I kinda like the 1, 3, and 4. So let's make another poll. Parents. And Schmish. Okay, poll is up. And while you decide, I will pour myself some coffee. Or napalm, for that matter. But yeah. Did I say hey Meep? I can't remember. Hey Meep. So the options are Hearthguard with two-handed and bow, tribespeople with athletics and throwing, or smith with two-handed and smithing. So, is this going to be a draw? It is a draw. So then I will take the hand and say it's the Hearthguard. Now, creepy child. As a child you were noted for my leadership skills. If the wolf pup gang of your early childhood had an alpha, it was definitely you. All the other kids followed your lead as you decided what to play and where to play and led them in games and mischief. We'll give leadership and tactics. Leadership determines how many troops I can have in my party, and yeah, tactics, I don't know. The brawn. You were big, and other children looked to have what? Other children looked to have you around in any scrap with children from a neighboring village. You push the plow and throw an axe like an adult. We'll give two-handed weapons and throwing weapons. Attention to details. You were quick on your feet and attentive to what was going on around you. Usually you could run away from trouble, though you could give a good account of yourself in a fight with other children if cornered. We'll give athletics and one-handed. Numbers. Most children around you had only the most rudimentary education, but you lingered after class to study letters and mathematics. We had class? We had a school? Okay. You were fascinated by the marketplace. Weighs and measures, tallies and accounts, the chatter about profits and losses. We'll give a point in engineering and trade. Trade is, I guess, price... Okay, so in better quality, I guess? My way with people. You were always attentive to other people, good at guessing their motivations. You studied how individuals were swayed and tried out what you learned from adults on your friends. We'll give charm and leadership. And then horses. I think there should be a horse here. You were always drawn to animals and spent as much time as possible hanging out in the village stables. You could calm horses and were sometimes called upon to break in new colts. You learned the basics of veterinary arts, much of which is applicable to humans as well. We'll give riding and medicine. I think detail... Detail numbers of people. So, next poll. Detail, numbers, people. And the folder's up. And in theory, that's actually some kind of backstory, but it's more really aiming for the stats. And these do what? Come on, game. There's pole arms too, yeah. So crossbows is a nice ranged weapon, but from what I have heard, it's nearly impossible to get crossbows in the early game because they are freaking expensive. As in like 20,000 monies for only one, and that's quite a lot of money. So I happen to know that once you align with one chieftain or king, you will get mercenary status and get 10 money for every enemy group you defeat on the map. So just to give you a rough rough orientation on how bloody expensive this is. Horses sell for 1,600 or something. At least the small horses. And another draw. Hooray! Detail or numbers. In this case, I think I will go for detail. So now, adolescence. Like all village children, you helped out in the fields. You also herded the sheep. You went with other fleet-footed youth to take the village's sheep, goats and cattle to graze in pastures near the village. You were in charge of chasing down stray beasts and always kept a big stone on hand to be hurled at lurking predators if necessary. We'll give athletics and throwing weapons. Worked in the village smithy. You were apprenticed to the local smith. You learned how to heat and forge metal, hammering for hours at a time until your muscles ached. We'll give two-handed in smithing. Repaired projects. You helped to dig wells, re-thatch houses and fix broken plows. You learned about the basics of construction as well as what it takes to keep a farming community prosperous. Details. So the one-handed and athletics one. So you don't know what this is here then, yeah? Athletics and throwing, two-handed and smithing, smithing and engineering, and then we have gathered herbs in the wild. You were sent by the village healer up into the hills to look for useful medicinal plants. You learned which herbs healed wounds or brought down a fever and how to find them. You will give medicine and scouting. Hunted small game. You accompanied a local hunter as he went into the wilderness, helping him set up traps and catch small animals. We'll give bow and tactics. I don't think so. No, I don't think that medicine includes poison. I don't think there's poison in that matter. And then we have sold produce at the market. You took your family's goods to the nearest town to sell your produce and buy supplies. It was hard work, but you enjoyed the hubbub of the marketplace. abilities. We'll give trade and charm. Yeah, kinda. So I think a small game for more proficiency in bows, because ranged weapons do quite a lot of damage. And I don't think more smithing, or even smithing in general, is that useful, at least early in the game. I think these three: repair, herbs, and small game. So let's put the next poll up. Any question? Thank you. Repair projects. And haunted small game. And there we go. Next poll is up. I still don't know where tactics come into play. I really don't. I guess that's for now that might be. But what? Why doesn't it tell me like this here? It's and I mean there are huge sieges in the game. I'm not sure what this will turn out to be then later on. If tactics plays a role there or not. And it is small game. For that. Now change packaged youth. A youngster grown up in Calradia, war was never too far away. You, or we, were a chieftain's servant. Your family arranged for you to accompany a chieftain of your people. You were not given major responsibilities, mostly carrying messages and tending to his horses. To his horse. He just needs one. But it did give you a chance to see how campaigns were planned and men were deployed in battle. So this will give stewardship and tactics. Trained with the guard. You were big and imposing enough use that the chief's guard allowed you to train alongside them, in preparation to join them someday. We'll give pole arms, like spears and the like, lance from horseback, and riding. Stood guard with the garrison. Urban troops spent much of the time guarding the town walls. Most of the training was in missile. We'll give bow and engineering. Rode with the scouts. All of Calradia's kingdoms recognize the value of good light cavalry, and are sure to recruit nomads and borderers with the skill to fulfill those duties. You were a good enough rider that your neighbors pitched in to buy you a small pony and a sheaf of javelins so that you could fulfill their levy obligations. Riding and bow. Trained with the infantry. Levy armed with spear and shield, drawn from small-holding farmers, have always been the backbone of most armies of Calradia. Will give pole arm and one-handed. The skirmishers, young recruits, or those of a slighter build, or those too poor to buy shield and armor, tend to join the skirmishers. Fighting with bows and javelin, they try to stay out of reach of the main enemy forces. Is throwing and bow. And then we have joined the Khan. Many battalions fight as Khan, versatile troops who could both harass the enemy line with their javelins or join in the final screaming charge once it weakened. Will give throwing and one-handed. Yeah. But I suck at combat in general, so like I said, I will mostly go for sword and board. So infantry and current, so got only two choices here. Oh, pole is up. At least by now the weird baby face is gone. Well, the head looks rather small. And I must say, it's a weird decision that they decided to have no music whatsoever playing here. Because that means you can hear all the creaking of my headset. Kern it is. Okay. And then we have two more choices to come. Young adulthood. Before you set out for a life of adventure, your biggest achievement was defeat an enemy in battle. Not everyone who musters for the levy marches to war, and not everyone who goes on campaign sees action. You did both, and you also took down an enemy warrior in direct one-to-one combat, in the full view of your comrades. This will give one-handed and two-handed, and this is renown is how far up in the ranks you are, basically, or how well you are known to the higher ups, if I'm not completely mistaken. I led a successful manhunt. That sounds nasty. When your community needed to organize a posse to pursue horse thieves, you were the obvious choice. You hunted down the raiders, surrounded them, and forced their surrender. You took back your stolen property. Gives tactics and leadership. I mean, leadership is... I think that we should take something that has leadership in it. I invested some money in land. Your parents didn't give you much money, but they did leave just enough for you to purchase a plot of unused land at the edge of the village. You cleared away rocks and dug an irrigation ditch, raised a few seasons of crops, then sold it for a considerable profit. Is trade and smithing? I'm not sure where smithing comes in here, but and gives calculation. I'm not sure where that's is here, and 10 renown. Yeah, thank you, Beep. Thank you. You hunted a dangerous animal. Wolves, bears, and a constant menace to the flocks of northern Calradia, while hyenas and leopards trouble the south. You went with a group of your fellow villagers and fired the missile that brought down the beast. As bow and crossbow, some renown. Control is what? Famous escapade. Maybe it was a love affair, or maybe you cheated at dice, or maybe you just chose your words poorly when drinking with a dangerous crowd. Anyway, on one of your trips into town, you got into the kind of trouble from which only a quick tongue or quick feet get you out alive. Gives athletics and roguery. I mean, it's fun, but nah. And my biggest achievement was I treated people well. What did you do? I killed an enemy in battle. What did you do? Oh, I hunted dangerous animals. What did you do? I treat people well. Yours wasn't the kind of reputation that local legends are made of, but it was the kind that wins you respect among those around you. You were consistently fair and honest in your business dealings and helpful to those in trouble. In doing so, you got a sense of what made people tick. Charm and stewardship. +1 to mercy, generosity, and honor, which are nowhere listed here, and some renown. Even though that is fun, that's not really. I think it's these two, manhunt and battle. And the poll is up. Simply because I would actually prefer the manhunt because some leadership makes it so that sorry, 1 second. Makes it so it can lead a bigger warband. Not that that's Yeah, I kinda do. Maybe not in the very beginning, but at least later on. I know at first it's just my skinny me and one or two blokes maybe. Yeah, exactly. I don't need a teenage queen, I just want my M14. Or my axe and a shield. And it's a draw. So we will go with Manhunt. So now the story background. This is the last choice. Like many families in Calradia, your life was upended by war. Your home was ravaged by the passage of army after army. Eventually, you sold your property and set off with your father, mother, brother, and your two younger siblings to a new town you'd heard was safer. But you did not make it. Along the way, the inn at which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain, and your two youngest siblings seized. But you and your brother survived because you subdued a raider. You were able to grab a knife in the confusion of the attack. You stabbed the raider, blocking your way. We'll give one-handed and athletics. You drove them off with arrows. You grabbed a bow and sent a few arrows the raider's way. They took cover, giving you the opportunity to flee with your brother. Tactics and bow. You rode off on a fast horse. Jumping on the two remaining horses in the inn's burning stable, you and your brother broke out of the encircling raiders and rode off. Riding and scouting. I tricked the raiders. In the confusion of the attack, you shouted that someone had found treasure in the back room. You then made your way out of the undefended entrance with your brother. Roguery and tactics. Or I organized the travelers to break out. You encouraged the few travelers in the inn to break out in a coordinated fashion. Raiders killed or captured most, but you and your brother were able to escape. Got words. This gives leadership and charm. Yeah, totally. Get a band together and kill the raiders? Yeah, that's totally selfish. So I don't like the horse one, and tricking raiders. This is well. Yeah, that's the Skaven way. Come on. Yeah, true. Well, the poll is up. And it's obviously a poll between Raiders, the Arrows, or the Breakout. Because the road off on a fast horse is just absolute dick move, and the tricking thing, nah. Yeah, true. And lead from the back, that's the most important one. And the most obvious one. Kill the filthy manlings? I think manlings is the one. Or man things? I can't remember. Yeah. Kill man thing. I like this game. Yeah. They're fun. At least the lore around them. And it is Breakout. Breakout it is. Okay, so now I give myself a name. I'm not Jeff. I'm so incredibly creative. Brindor. Rugged. Fuck it. Melody it is. So, I will not go for realistic, because I know I'm shit at this game. But I will go at the medium difficulty. Yeah, so I don't want permadeath, and I want to do my clan myself. Okay, start the game. Here we go. Finally, gameplay! Only took, what, an hour? Okay, see you later, Meep. So, this is me brother. Brother! It's been 3 days now we've been tracking those bastards. I think we're getting close. We need to think about what happens when we catch them. How are we going to rescue Farok and Aithene? Are we up for a fight? No, that was just character creation until now. The actual gameplay starts. This looks like an old training field for the legions. Perhaps we can spare some time and brush off our skills. That sounds weird. We brush off our skills, so we get rid of them? What? The practice could come up useful when we catch up with the raiders. Okay. So, this is the basic tutorial. Let's hope the game is will run. So I hope the stream is still okay. Looks like I am dropping some frames. I got one warning, but I think should be okay. So, let me show you how shit I am in this game fighting.
Come on!
Ooh!
Come on!
Ow! It's incredibly how fast this guy can attack. It's really annoying. Ow! Ow! Okay, that's bad if it's not running well, because I can't do much about it. I will see what I can do in the settings in a moment. Ooh! And keep in mind, this is already with relative high one-handed combat, so my attacks should be relatively fast. Ooh. But it's almost impossible to get a hit in through this. Okay, let's see. Options. Let's see. What can we? Okay, let's see. Maybe it's usually fine, and it was just the sudden excitement that things are happening. I mean, it's well, no, it's not even running perfectly smooth for me. So let's see. What can we? I mean, the GPU usage, memory usage is not that much. Let's see. What can we? What can we do? What can we do? So, let's turn off the annoying stuff. And then shadow filtering. And it's, I mean, I could just drop down from streaming in 1080, but that would mean I have to stop the stream entirely. This should give it, reducing the. Yeah, that's not better. So, let's do some basic shooty stuff. And shooting crossbows is a weird situation. Because other than the one difference to the bow and arrow, you want to wait for a moment, so the aiming gets better. Whereas when you use the bow, it will start to bloom after a while. So you want to release the arrow more or less the moment the reticle is coming together and not wait. Chonk. And then we have throwing weapons, in this case javelin, which have a definite drop. You have to... I mean, arrows have a drop too. But it's not as bad as throwing weapons, quite obviously. And this has no difference in the aiming whatsoever, because you're just holding your hand behind your head, basically. There's no force required to hold the javelin there. You don't have to overcome the tension of the bowstring or have to hold up the heavy crossbow. So, and then there's horseback fighting. Which feels kinda weird. Ooh. I'm kinda misjudging the distance or the reach of my sword. Like, drastically. Aussie jump! Whee! Okay, it looks weird that my cape shows through my through my shield. Get off the horse, thank you. Then there's horseback. Come on, what's still a horse? Horseback riding with a lance. This is even weirder than with a sword. For some reason. but it obviously gives you a greater reach than with a sword. And I would imagine it gives you more damage too. Or deals more damage to the enemies. Because, well, I'm riding full tilt and adding the speed of my horse to this thing. To the lance. Come on, get off the horse. And then there is horseback archery. Which is extra weird. Because it is obviously inherently inaccurate. Which is no big surprise, because I'm bouncing around on a horseback. Well, on horseback, I think on horseback the bow and arrow is quite nice. And then probably sword and shield. So far, I mean, I'm most likely will be going for one-handed and one-handed in shield, just because the blocking with the shield is so much easier. So, and here we go. Now there should be a loading screen, okay? And welcome to the world map. We are here. Yeah. This is the map. Brother, before we do anything else, we are low on food. There's a village north of here where we can buy provisions and find some help. You're a better rider than I am, so I will let you lead the way. So we are here, and we are supposed to go there. So we click on there. And then we move. We are here, I guess, so we need food, and after that, maybe some men to come with us. They look creepy as all hell, mate. The headmen here are can probably help us. Let's try to find him. Who's the headman and how do I find him? Okay. Hold left alt. Over there. my way, peasants! Come on, get off the horse! Damn it! Thank you. I am Olichor, headman of this village. What brings you here? We need help. Some raiders have taken our younger brother and sister captive. We think they may have passed this way. They got you people too? Sorry to hear that. Those bastards have done a bit of killing and looting in these parts as well. We think they have gone north. I reckon there are a few folk around here who will join you in going after them if you'll pay for their gear. Once you've made your preparations, come and talk to me again. I may have a task for you if you're going after the raiders. Okay, let's recruit troops. I have 1,000 bucks. So this is, like I said, it's crossbows are powerful as all hell, and but they're expensive as all hell too. So. Give me all of them. Of course, all of them. So, give me all your food. I have food for 8 days now. Okay. Talk to the headman. Glad to see you found what you need. Now about that matter I mentioned earlier. There's this wandering doctor who comes through here from time to time. Name of Tactios. Treats people for free. We are fond of him. Well, at least we saw him a few days ago. He was carrying some sort of chest, which he was very mysterious about. He was on some sort of quest, he said. They wouldn't tell us more. He set off on the road just a few hours before the raiders came through here. Well, he's not really a worldly type, just the kind of fellow who'd stumble into a trap and let himself be captured. We are worried about him. If you can keep an eye out for him, this Tactius, we'd be very grateful. Maybe if he's alive and well, he'll tell you a little more about his quest. So, this is me. I have one focus point. Track detection radius, max spotting distance, and so on. So let's see, what does tactics do? Simulation advantage and decrease the sacrifice to... So that's when I don't do the battle myself, but let the randomizer do it. Okay. This is... okay, yeah, that's bow damage and bow accuracy. Weapon speed and weapon damage. Trade penalty reduction. Okay. Okay, I can get... Calculating? Calculating! What? So for my one-handed skill, I get additional sub-boni, so to say. I can get edge placement, which will make my one-handed damage increase by 4%, or get 3 more HP. Yeah, I guess so. That's probably what it's doing. Do I have to select... Ah, yeah, I have to pick this. Yeah. I think I will go for more damage for now. So, okay, here it's explained. Medicine is casualty survival chance is plus 0.1%. Healing rate increased by 0.5%, and healing... or the... forever whom it is. I think I kinda need all the help I can get in combat. Oh, that's an encyclopedia. Inventory. Yeah, let's do this. So, inventory. I have throw-in axes, a knobbed club, and a makeshift kite shield. You are a knob. No, you are a knob. And then we have the quests here. Locate and rescue traveler. Look around the village to find the party that captured the traveler whom the headman told you about. So, attack the raiders. So I hope the game explains me how to manage my troops. You can tell your men to charge by opening the movement orders with F1 and then F3.
Attack!
They are after me! Help me! My people! But I'm shit at this. Ah! I bashed in a guy's head. Very good. I kind of would love to be a little further back. I think that I've seen an option for that. Somewhere here, I think. Ah, yeah.
Victory is ours!
Is it? Okay. Um... We can reduce some... We can deactivate the cloth simulation. So let me ride around here. Is this better now? Was it still shitting the bed? Okay. And yeah, the trees look shit now, but and we can, I mean, like, we can just kick off the foliage quality entirely. Okay, now it feels way smoother to me too. I mean, I felt that it was laggy, but couldn't do much because I was kinda in a battle. Okay. I didn't lose anybody. This is good. Got some renown, got some morale. Morale! Oh, I got a prisoner. I got hit on the head, apparently. Quite badly. Yeah, I mean, I will take everything, but I will want to see if anything is useful here. Cheap paddings. It weighs more than my armor, yeah, obviously. Has more body armor, but less arm armor. Nah. But I will take all. Where's the raider troop there? Okay, so let's see how this turns out now when I have enemy troops here too. Oh goody! A woodland battle.
Attack!
Ow! Okay, I need to turn further around. Okay. Oh, I almost hit him. Okay, I wrote that one down. Okay, I'm completely off with my timing here. Okay. I'm not sure I can improve that. I mean, I can turn down some more.
victory is ours!
I mean, how bad does it get?
Look at them run! Glory! No quarter for the craven!
I just noticed my horse is basically dead.
We've been blessed!
Okay. I mean, yeah, okay. There's a lot more happening on screen than. Ooh. More armor. Fancy boots. But my boots are better. So let's see. I'm healed completely? That's weird. Let me talk to you. Okay. No. I don't want to leave them here. Oh, sorry. I know I can level them up somehow, at least later on. So, let's attack these guys too. Same stupid thing. Alright,
Give them hell!
thanks for popping in, and see you around. Maybe fighting on the bridge is not the best place to fight. Come to think of it. Yeah! Bashed in his head, all proper like. Ow! Stop hitting my horse. That's my horse.
My dog!
I'll split your skull! I'll split your skull.
Yeah, you try, mate, you try. Ooh. My horse is basically dead. Good. Well, that would mean I have to stop the stream.
Victory! Look at them run!
Captured some more raiders. Ridged iron broadsword. Okay, let's take off all the stuff. You rescued several prisoners that the raiders had been dragging along. They look parched and exhausted. You give... oh, sorry, hold on. You give them some of your water and bread, and after a short while, one staggers through the street and comes over to you. Ah, it's Taketeus. I don't know who you are, but I'm in your debt. These brigands would have marched us through our death. My name's Taketeus. I'm a doctor by trade. I was on, well, a bit of a quest, but now I'm thinking I'm not really made for this kind of thing. I was with a caravan, and they just came out of the brush. We were surrounded and outnumbered, so we gave up. I figured they'd keep us alive, if just for the ransom. But they started flogging us along at top speed, without any water, and I was just about ready to drop. I could feel the signs of heatstroke creeping up, and I told them, but they just flogged me more. If your group hadn't come along, maybe I have a way to thank you properly. We're looking for 2 children captured by the raiders. Can you tell us anything? I am afraid I haven't seen any children, but after our caravan was attacked, the chief of the raiders, the one they called Radagos, took and rode off with our more valuable belongings, including a chest that I had. He seemed to be controlling more than one band raiding around this area. If this lot was your kin, then I think he'd be... If this lot has your kin, then I think he'd be the one to know. And since I have nothing of value left to repay your help, I'll tell you this. If you do catch up with and defeat the ruffian, you may be able to recover my chest. It contains a valuable ornament which I was told could be of great value if you knew where to sell it. I was trying to find out more about it, but as I say, I have had all my urge for traveling flogged out of me. Right now, I don't think I venture more than 20 paces from a well as long as I live. You'll keep that in mind. It doesn't look like much, and I suspect this lot would give it away for a few coins, but I got it from a mercenary whom I treated once, and swore it was related to... what? Neretz's folly. I don't know what that means, except that Neretzes was, of course, the emperor who died in battle some years back. Maybe you can find out its true value. Thanks for saving me again. I hope our path will cross again. So, let's travel here. Let's quickly get rid of some of this stuff. Ah yeah, 66 cut, and these do 48 blunt. It's a little bit slower to... I think I will take the sword. That's kinda looks better. It's 92 length, and this is 54 links, so it's even longer, so it's has more reach. So, and the rest gets sold. Get a little bit more grain. Can I recruit more people? So, should I drop down to 720? I can do that. Although, like I said, I have to stop the stream for that. Because while the stream is running, yeah, okay, I can do that. So, then don't despair, people. I will be back in a minute or two, and only with glorious 720p, but still.